What is up, Cleveland Browns fans? It's your old friend IndyCar Tim here with the Cleveland Browns Daily Blitz. It is Las Vegas Raiders post-game, and it is not a happy day. The Browns had chances. They had chances. So many chances, and just could not get it done on Sunday against the Raiders. Everything seemingly going against their attempt to get the win on the road on Sunday. But the Raiders' defense was just too much. They found somewhere a running game that they haven't really had before this season, that they haven't had until the Browns came to town, to stave off a late rally by Deshaun Watson and the Browns offense to get the 20-16 win on Sunday. The Browns had driven to the Raiders' 9-yard line with the potentially game-winning score, go-ahead score, but Watson got sacked with 41 seconds left to seal the victory for the Raiders. The Raiders, a valiant game today, as shorthanded as they were, almost as shorthanded as the Browns were in that regard. The Raiders missing, of course, star wide receiver Davante Adams and pass rusher Max Crosby. They both were out with injuries, and the defense of the Raiders held the Browns to just 241 total yards on the day. For the Raiders, Alexander Mattison rushed for 60 yards. The team totaled 152 yards on the ground, had 5 different players that had runs of at least 10 yards in the game. That's the highest number since 2010 against the Seahawks. The Raiders also became the first team since the Jets in 2010 against the Bengals to have 2 receivers score in the same game on rushing touchdowns. The Raiders hadn't rushed for more than 55 yards in a game all season until Sunday. And the defense is supposed to be the strength of the Browns. And yes, they did allow just 20 points. You allow 20 points in the NFL, you should be able to win the game. Everyone agrees with that. And it should have been the case on Sunday. Allowing that many yards is out of character by the Browns. And I didn't see anything that they did schematically that was different on defense, other than having some guys banged up, I guess, a little bit, including, of course, Garrett dealing with the foot injury. Gardner Minshew was only 14 of 24 for 130 yards. That's a great stat line for the opposing quarterback by your defense. He was also sacked twice by Garrett. Again, something you want to see if you're a Browns fan. Watson completed all 8 passes and leading the Browns to a touchdown drive to open the game that lasted 9 minutes and 22 seconds. You love those long drives. He finished 24-32 for just 176 yards. He entered the game having been sacked a league-high 16 times, and he played behind an offensive line on Sunday against the Raiders that was missing 4 starters for most of the game, and he was sacked 3 times by the Raiders, which to me was a low number. I was a little surprised it wasn't more. This is a huge setback for the Browns. The loss is, as you were trying to get to 2-2 to keep your playoff hopes alive here early, just 4 weeks into the season. But now falling to 1-3, those chances seem to be fading. Only 42 teams since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger have made the postseason after opening the season 1-3. Las Vegas now at 2-2 got a huge bounce back from a loss to the Panthers last week. Even though they found themselves in that 10-0 hole early against the Browns, but the Raiders would score the next 20 points to take control before Zamir White's fumble on the first play of the fourth quarter was returned by safety Rodney McLeod for a 25-yard TD. Things looked like they were looking up for the Browns, but then Dustin Hopkins inexplicably misses an extra point that left the Browns down 20-16. And make no mistake, that was a huge extra point when the team knows they need a touchdown, not just a field goal. Being down by 4 is an entirely different thing for an NFL team than being down by 3. Just ask anybody that's ever played in the league, ask any coach. That is a huge difference. And still, you had the Browns that looked like they were going to take the lead on a beautiful 82-yard touchdown pass from Watson to Amari Cooper. but it came back because of a holding call by backup center Nick Harris. Again, you have backups all along the offensive line. Things like that are going to happen. And then the Browns, of course, had to punt. So, boom, they had that last gasp drive, forced to go for a touchdown rather than the field goal because why? You were down by 4 points instead of just 3. So, again, the game ended on the sack with 40-plus ticks left in the game. You know, it is what it is. It's the Browns. We've expected way more than what they've delivered this year. I get it. But every team in the league is dealing with some sort of injuries. And for some reason, offensive line, everybody seems like is dealing with offensive line injuries. Maybe nobody more than the Browns with 4 guys. But it just seems like everybody is dealing with that. That's part of the game. You can just hope that you can come through that injury situation on the other side at like 500 or still in the hunt for the division or something like that. And you're in kind of what's been a little bit of a weak division. You've got the Ravens playing tonight against the Bills. That's going to be a tough one for the Ravens. They're at home, though. You had Cincinnati finally get their first win of the day or of the season. You had the Steelers have their first loss of the season on Sunday. So the division is it's still wide open. The 2 teams that I thought were favorites were the Ravens and the Bengals, and look what they're doing this year. Not a ton. So the Browns and the Steelers, everybody's still in it. So nothing is lost yet. We just need to get some health for the poor Brownies. Come on. Let's get some health for the Browns. Everybody say prayers or whatever it is that you do in your whatever religion. Don't want to get religious. But anyway, the Browns face the Commanders next Sunday. It's the second of a 3-game road trip, and the Raiders will visit the Broncos. So AFC race alive, AFC North race alive. Everybody think the good thought for your Browns offensive line. Let's try to get some people back healthy. For the love of God, let's get some health here and bring this season back around where it needs to be. Thanks for tuning in to FanStream Sports. You can find us at fanstreamsports.com, the FanStream Sports mobile app for both Android and iOS, as well as FanStream Sports TV, which is our YouTube channel. Go give us a subscribe. Click that bell to get notifications. Or if you're listening to the recorded podcast, the Cleveland Browns Daily Blitz podcast, give us a subscribe. Leave us a great review wherever you are. We would appreciate it very much. We will do some more Browns and Washington coming up. Until then, boys and girls, we'll see you.